welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's vlog. I really wanted to do a challenge, but I also really want to mood read. I've been in such a mood reading mood, mainly because there have been so many book releases this month and last month that I just want to get to all these books. But there's also a lot of books on my TBR for this month that I really want to get to. And I'm also in a thriller mood. So I'm just, there's so many moods going on that I figured, okay, what's a challenge I could do that I could also just incorporate some mood reading, because your girl just wants to mood read. So I'm gonna do a random number generator picks how many pages I read for the week, and I think this is gonna be just like the perfect little challenge to see, one, if I could read as many pages as the generator chooses for me, but also it allows me to mood read. I did get inspiration from this video from Bestie Ellie and Catherine here on YouTube, so I will be linking her video down below. The book I think I am gonna start with is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Clywer. I have been wanting to get to this book for a while now, so I think this is the perfect time for me to pick it up and start it. Let's see how many pages I'm gonna have to read. I'm just Googling random number generator, and I'm going to set the minimum to 50 and the max to 200, just because I do work a 9-to-5 job, so during the week I really don't see myself reading more than 200 pages. So I think 200 is a good little, it's a good number, but I also think less than 50 is just too little. So I'm gonna do 50 to 200. So I'm gonna go ahead and generate, and I'm gonna put it right here. 118, that's not bad. Okay, we could do that. I think on a given day, 100 pages isn't too bad. So 118 is our starting. Okay, 118 ends like mid-chapter. I don't really wanna end mid-chapter. So do I just read over? Because it's like mid-chapter. It's actually like the second page into a chapter, which is kind of crazy. But either way, it'll put us a good amount into this book. So I'm so excited. We're going to read 118 pages. So today is currently Friday. So I have a lot of time to read today, luckily. So today is Friday, so the challenge, I'll read from Friday to Thursday. That's a week. Yep. From Friday to Thursday. So let's see how much we can actually read and how many books we can actually get through, because if we get a lot of low numbers in the coming pulls, we might not get to read as much. But I think this is going to be fun. We're going to start with 118 pages, and then tomorrow I will come back and do how many pages we're going to read for Saturday, Sunday, etc., etc. So this will be fun. And I'll probably come back with an update, given that it's going to take me about a little less than halfway through. So I'll probably be back with an update later when I start reading this, and we'll see how it goes. Hey guys, so I'm back and I finished my 118 pages of We Used to Live Here. I actually read a little bit more than 118 pages because page 118 literally ended like mid-chapter, and I don't like stopping mid-chapter. I gotta say, this book, I'm actually really enjoying it. I think for right now it's sitting at like a 4-star. This book is actually spooking me out, which is saying something, because I feel like a lot of books that are like thriller horror don't really actually spook me out, but this one had a scene in it that particularly stuck out, and I'm still thinking about it, and it's nighttime and I have chills. So I feel like I need to turn on something funny, like I need a cartoon or like a funny movie or something, just to quickly kind of like go over what this has been about so far. Right away we open up with Eve. She and her partner just moved into this new house about like a month or so ago, and they're still kind of like adjusting. Her and her partner fix up houses that are kind of like run down and then sell them for profit kind of situation. So she's home alone in this new house that they just bought, and this dad with his 3 kids and wife show up, and he's like, this was my childhood home. I used to live here. Can I come in and show my family around? Eve is like very hesitant, doesn't really want to let them in. She tries to come up with an excuse, but of course she ends up feeling guilty about it and ends up letting them in. Circumstances happen and the family ends up having to stay longer than the intended time, and then even more circumstances happen and they end up still having to stay the night and stuff like that. So we're following kind of like this situation. We're getting glimpses of kind of like almost like a haunted house situation going on. We're still not sure what's really happening, and that's pretty much the premise so far. I don't want to say too much and give things away, but not a whole lot has happened, but a lot has happened, if that makes sense. So I don't know. What I think is really carrying the story is the writing. The writing style is so descriptive, and I feel like it's like I could picture the situations that are occurring. I could like picture them. I could put myself there, and I'm like, that was freaking creepy. I do wonder where this is gonna go. Definitely sensing some supernatural vibes going on, but this has been really interesting so far, and tomorrow we will random number generate again and see how many pages I'll have to read for tomorrow. Hopefully we get a good amount. That way I'm able to put in a good dent into this book. I'm very interested to see where this is gonna go, and I would like to continue reading it. But gonna stop here. That is my update so far. I will see you guys tomorrow when I random generate again. Hey guys, I am back. I did end up reading my pages yesterday. So far, this book is actually pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. I will say that this actually did give me some spooks last night. There were some scenes in this that are kind of creepy. Basements are always creepy. I think anyone will tell you that a basement is creepy. But there was a scene in the basement in this that I was just like, I needed a minute. It's definitely giving me the spookiness that I was expecting, and I do think this is going to end up being like around a 4-star, but I'm hoping we'll get like a good number generated today so that I could potentially finish this, because the book is actually kind of short. I think it's only 308 pages. So that's not a whole lot. So I feel like we could get this book done today, but it depends on the number generator. So let's pull up the number generator and let's see how many pages we'll have to read. So again, I have the minimum at 50 and the max at 200, and I'm gonna click generate. 53. Okay, that's not a lot. That's okay, that's fine. We'll read 53 pages. Let's see how far 53 pages will get me. Okay, it's gonna be another mid-chapter stop. So I think I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm gonna read up until page 181, since that's where the chapter ends. So we're gonna just read a little over 50 pages, but not a whole lot over. I'm probably going to be going to a coffee shop, so I might do some reading there. If not, I might just do some reading here later. But I will be back with an update. If not today, tomorrow when we do tomorrow's random number generator. Okay, we are back with a little update. I did read my pages yesterday, and I gotta tell you, 53 just was not enough. I wanted to keep going, but unfortunately I had to stop because this is a challenge. I did, again, like I said, read a little bit over the page count. So I think I was supposed to read up to 178, but since that was mid-chapter, I ended up just reading through 181 since that's the page where the chapter ended. So I only read like maybe 2 additional pages, so not too bad. So we are going to random number generate to see what today's reading page count is. So I do have the 50 min, 200 max. Today is Mother's Day, so I don't know if I'm going to be too busy. So I'm hoping not for a very high number, maybe. Like I think 200 pages I might not be able to do. But I don't know. We'll see how busy I am today. So let's see. That makes sense. That tracks. 195 pages. Okay. I think for sure 195 pages is going to get me to the end of this. Let's see. Okay. Because I'm on page 183. And there are 304 pages. Maybe what, 120 pages maybe? So that still leaves me with 70 pages that I'm going to have to read of a different book. So ideally we'll finish this book today and we'll pick up another book. I haven't decided what book I do want to pick up after this. So I think what I'll do is I'll read the rest of this book, and when I'm ready to finish the rest of my pages, I will come back and we will pick a book together. Because I'm not sure what I'm in the mood for. We'll see what books are on my TBR or on my TBR for May. And depending on if I want to read one of those books, I'll come to my TBR cart and see what books I have there that we could choose from. But for now, I will be back when I finish reading this book and we pick out my next book. Hey guys, we are back and we did finish our reading yesterday. So just to recap, yesterday we had to read 195 pages. So I was able to finish reading We Used to Live Here, and then I also picked up Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Just to recap We Used to Live Here, I think I'm settling on a 4.25 on this one. I honestly really enjoyed this. I will say, this can get a little frustrating because I feel like you are left with so many questions at the end. There are still answers I'm looking for. The ending was good. I really enjoyed the ending. But I just feel like we're left with so many questions. And unless there's going to be a sequel, we're just never going to get those questions answered. And I need those answers. So I don't know. This was frustratingly good. I feel like my rating would probably be higher if I didn't feel so unsettled after reading it. I just feel like I have no closure. I have so many questions. There were so many things that we were introduced to in the story that were never brought up again. And I'm like, okay, was it because it was not significant? Then why did we mention it? And that's why I'm like, are we getting a sequel? Are we getting a part 2 to this? Because I need answers. So I don't know. Overall, this was a 4.25 mainly because this is the first like horror thriller that I've read that's genuinely spooked me in a while. I was reading during the daytime and like getting creeped out. This was really good in that aspect of it. The storyline overall was really interesting and I was invested in it. But yeah, when it comes down to just like those unanswered questions, that's where I feel like I was just let down a lot. I am feeling pretty good about my 4.25. This was honestly really good. I understand why so many people love it. And I understand why a lot of people who didn't rate it higher are upset because of all these unanswered questions. Definitely be prepared to be left wanting more because there's just so many things that we don't get answered. Because I had just finished that thriller horror that had me spooked and a little on edge, I figured a fluffy little romance was going to help me. So I did end up picking Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This one I've heard so many great things about and I knew I just had to pick it up. I also just like didn't have any other romances on my TBR for May. The only one that I had was Ruthless Vows, and I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood for that. And Fearless, but I don't think I'm in the mood for a fantasy. So I had to go to my TBR cart and pick out a book, and this is the one I picked up because I have been wanting to get to this one for so long, and I was in the mood for it. So here we are. Hence why we're doing a mood reading vlog. But in the mood for this one, so I picked this one up last night. I did. After reading We Used to Live Here, I had about 70 pages left that I needed. No. Yeah, 70 pages left. So this book starts on page 3 or something like that. So 70 pages in would have taken me to 73. But because it was mid-chapter, I did end up reading to 79. Please ignore my wrapper that is acting as my bookmark. But I read to page 79, and so far I'm enjoying this. The writing style of this is exactly what I wanted. It's very loose, it's very comedic, there's like banter, there's just this fun little vibe we're getting from it. This book is following a one-night stand pregnancy trope, so if that's not your vibe, you might not really like this. But so far, I think she's doing it pretty well. So we are following Win and Bo. Win and Bo end up meeting at Win's best friend's Halloween party. They end up having like a super instant connection. They're both not looking for anything serious, so they're just like, hey, let's just have a fun little night. So they end up having a little hookup, and 6 weeks later, Win finds out that she's pregnant, so she has to find a way to tell him. They both were, non-committal, so obviously this is a big commitment. She gives him like that opportunity to find an out. She's like, if you don't want to be a part of this, like that's fine, I'll do this on my own. But he's like, no, I'm in. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm still, like I said, I'm only 79 pages in, so that's pretty much all that's really happened, which is the whole premise of the story. They're going to be working together in this whole parenting journey. So we are going to be following them. But what I think is really interesting is it's called Out on a Limb. And as you could see in like the cover, Bo has a prosthetic leg and Win has a hand deformity. So we do see that a lot in the story. And what I think is so funny is that both main characters do have these limb differences. So they talk about it to each other a lot. And they're both considerate about it too, so like they just like work really well together. But yeah, I'm only 79 pages in, so I still have a lot more to learn, but so far I'm really liking it. It's definitely giving me Ready or Not vibes, if anyone's read Cara Baston's Ready or Not. That book also follows like a pregnancy trope with a one-night stand. So far I'm really enjoying this. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go because so far Bo just is just there. He's ready. And I just love that about him. So he seems great, and I'm super excited to see where the relationship's gonna go. But we need to figure out how many pages we gotta read today. So I'm gonna pull up the random number generator, and then let me turn on my screen record. Okay, so as usual, we have the minimum of 50 and the max of 200. It is Monday now. We are on day 4 of this challenge. So it is Monday, which means work. I'm hoping we don't have a whole lot to read today because I do have work, and then I have some errands I need to run after work. So I don't know how much time I'll genuinely have to read. So I'm hoping it's not like 200 or 195 like yesterday. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because when you need a low number is when you don't get the low number. But it's fine. We have 181 pages. Let's see how much we actually have left of our book. So I'm on page 80. Oh wow, that's actually super perfect. This is actually going to be the first time where it takes me to the end of a chapter. So we're essentially going to get a good chunk of the book in. So I'll only have about, because this book is not very long, so it's 344 pages, but I'll have a little under 100 left. But yeah, so we got a good chunk of this book to get through today. I hope I can actually get through it because, like I said, I do have some stuff I have to do today, but hopefully I'll have some time. Hey guys, we are back with an update. I did continue reading Out on a Limb. I did read all 181 pages yesterday, which was a little hard because I was a little bit busy, but I did get through to it. So I'm on page 262. So this book has like a total of 357 pages. I have like about 95 pages left of this book, so I'm hoping we at least get enough pages this week or today so that we could finish the book, because I really want to know how this is going to wrap up together, because this book, I am loving this book. It is honestly so cute. The friendships that we see, not only between like the friendship developing between Win and Bo, but just like between Bo and his little friend group and Win and her best friend. And it's so cute. I'm absolutely loving this. I've had so many laugh out loud moments reading this. There was one scene in particular that just had me laughing the entire time because everyone was just so funny and the situation was funny, and the banter in this between just not even the main couple, but like everybody's just great, and I'm absolutely loving this. So this is a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that we can actually, finish the book. So I'm going to set the minimum again to 50, the max to 200. Let me grab my screen record, and we are going to generate again. 127. That's like perfect because it's going to get me through the rest of this book, and then I'm going to have to start another one. I'm not sure what book I'm going to pick up after this. It is Tuesday, new release Tuesday, and Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan comes out today. I don't know if I'm going to have time to go to the bookstore, but if I do, I might pick that one up. I just might. That, or I don't know if I want to do a romance back-to-back. So something I think it could be really fun is picking up The Tenant by Frida McFadden. That was a new release that came out last week, and I'm super excited to read that one. So I could switch it up with a thriller, or I could pick a book off of my TBR for the month. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I decide. But we have 127 pages, which is well over going to put me through the end of this book. So I'm excited to finish this one today. And then we will pick up our third book when I'm done with this and when I have time to decide. So I will be back with some updates, but I'm going to keep reading this one, or I'm going to finish this one today, and then we'll pick up our second book, or our third book, later. Hey guys, I'm back, and I did actually end up finishing Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Guys, this book was so good. There were so many laugh out loud moments. Bo, the man that he is, this was so good. Bo, new crush. I absolutely love him. I adore him. Him and Win just made such a cute couple. I absolutely love them. I love that they developed this friendship before they really decided to really dive in, and everything about this was just, it was just so lovely. I adored this. I think I'm gonna settle on a 4.25. I want more of them, and I'm sad that it's over. But I honestly just truly love this. If you haven't read this book, this is your sign to read it, because this is just so, this was just lovely. I did get to about, I think it was 95 pages that was left of this, but I do have about 32 pages that I calculated left. So I was thinking about what book to pick up next, and I thought about going with some new releases, but we only have 2 more days left of this challenge, and I don't know what numbers I'm going to be generating the next 2 days. So I'm trying to plan to at least try and finish a book, maybe, but it's all, it's all fate. I don't know what we're going to generate tomorrow or on Thursday. So I think I'm going to pick up Razorblade Tears, because this book is actually pretty short. It's only 319 pages, and I do have to read 32 pages of it, which is actually perfect because it's going to take me exactly to chapter 7, and that'll put me in a good spot to potentially finish this book if we get good numbers. It really just depends on how much we generate. But there is a chance that we're likely going to leave this video off with me not finishing this book. I'm hoping we could finish it, but we will see. This is the book I'm going to pick up next, Razorblade Tears. This one follows 2 fathers whose sons were murdered, and they end up working together to kind of figure out what happened to their sons. This honestly sounds like it's going to be so good. I've heard so many great things about it, and it's a book on my TBR for May, so perfect. I'm knocking a book off of my physical TBR. I will be back, if not today, tomorrow, with a quick little update maybe, because I really don't know how much I'm going to be able to update on 32 pages, but I will be back with an update and for us to generate how many pages I need to read for tomorrow. Okay guys, I am back with an update. So I did start Razorblade Tears yesterday, but I actually did not read all the pages that I was supposed to read. I just got so tired, I was so busy, so it just didn't happen. But I did read up to page 15. So I was supposed to read up to page 32. So I have 17 pages that I did not complete from yesterday. So whatever number I generate today, I'm just going to add those 17 pages to today's generated number total of pages. I don't really have an update. Like I said, I'm only 15 pages in. Let's see how many pages I have to read for today, because that's why we're really here right now. So once again, I'm hoping we get a good number, because I have only today and tomorrow left, and I ideally would love to finish this book before the end of the video. We might get lucky, I don't know. So, okay, I'm gonna put the minimum at 50 and the max at 200 again. I'm going to screen record and generate. 170 pages. Okay, so that's great. So I'll actually do 187 pages. That's so many pages. But I'll actually do 187 pages because I have to include the 17 pages that I did not read from yesterday. So today's goal is 187 pages, which is actually going to put me pretty far. It's going to take me to 202. So that's a good chunk of the book. That's more than half of the book. So, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll get a good number as well. So we'll see. I'm gonna put in a good amount of work into this book. 187 pages is literally more than half of this. So we will be back with some updates, because I will be reading this and I can give you a proper thoughts on what I think of this when I actually get more than 15 pages in. Hey guys, I am back, and unfortunately I don't have great news. I was not able to read all of my pages yesterday. I just got super busy with work, and then my after work activities just took up most of my time. So by the time I was able to actually sit down and read, I was exhausted. I got like 8 chapters in before I had to call it a night because I was so tired. So I did still have a pretty good chunk left from the pages I was supposed to read yesterday. So unfortunately yesterday I did not do a very good job, but we are going to generate the pages I have to read for today and add them to the pages I did not read yesterday, and just really hope that I can actually finish this today. So I'm going to pull up the random number generator. I'm going to set my minimum to 50 and my max to 200. Screen recording. Okay, and now we are going to generate. 121. That's fine. Because you know what that means? We're actually going to be able to finish this book. So I have 137 pages that I still need to read from yesterday. I have a total of 258 pages I need to read. Sorry, I have to do math. This book has a total of 319 pages, which leaves me, minus the pages I was supposed to read yesterday, I have 116 pages left of this book. So that leaves me with 5 pages, which makes no sense. I'm not going to start a new book in this video. But what I can do is, I haven't read it since I started this video, but I am currently reading the favorites for book club that meets this weekend. So what I'll probably do is for those last 5 pages, I'll just pick up the favorites again and just continue reading that book for those last 5 pages. But essentially, I will finish this book today and then have 5 more pages left of this challenge. So I'm going to finish this book today. That is my goal. I'm going to try it. I hope I could do it. It is literally this entire book. Unfortunately, yesterday was just so tiring for me. I just could not read. I had such a busy day. So that's okay. I'm giving myself some grace and we are going to push through today. I hope I could do it, but we will see. So I will be back with some updates. I still feel like not a lot has changed since I last updated you about this book. We're still following the dads, trying to figure out what happened to their sons. I'm only on page 64, so I feel like I'm still in the early stages. I will say I am really enjoying it so far. I really like where the story is going, and I'm curious to see where we're headed. I like the writing style. I like the way the story's being told, and it's just, I'm enjoying it. I can see why a lot of people really like this. So I don't know where it's sitting at a star rating so far, just because I feel like I'm still too early into this to really have an opinion, but I am enjoying it so far, and I am curious to see where it's gonna go. So I will be back with an update when I do get a little further into this book. Hey guys, so I just got out of my workout class and I'm currently waiting for my boyfriend to get out of the gym, so I figured I'd do like a quick little update on Razorblade Tears. I am now about 100, I'm exactly 100 pages in actually, and honestly I'm really liking this. It can get a little graphic at times. There are scenes in this that are like a little disturbing, I guess you could say. Both of the dads have like a past and they have no issues with violence. Because the story is a vengeance story. Like, they are looking to do harm to the people, the person or persons that killed their sons. And that's exactly what they're doing in this book. They are tracking people down and they are trying to find answers. And so far, I'm actually really enjoying it. I really like our 2 characters, seeing their determination to really give that justice to their sons when they felt like they weren't there for them when they were alive. And this book has a lot of guilt, a lot of anger, a lot of confusion too. Like, you sense that from the dads. Yeah, so far I am enjoying this. I think it's sitting around a 4-star. I really am enjoying reading these dads' perspectives and getting their, like, you get glimpses of their past. They're not good guys by any means, but they will do anything to find out what happened to their sons and get justice. That's what this is reading like, and it's really interesting so far. So I'm excited to keep reading. I do still have all of this. I am still determined to finish this today to complete the challenge, so we will see. I will either be back with some updates or I will be back with my final thoughts. Hey guys, I am back. I did finish reading Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This book, what a freaking ride this book was. This is a page turner. There are so many scenes that have you like, what's going to happen next? This book was so captivating to read because it's just so much stuff is happening and stakes are so high that it's just like, I need to know what's gonna happen right now. This story is honestly just a whirlwind, but I really enjoyed this. This story is very touching, very sad. There's a lot of violence that happens in this. So if violence isn't really your thing, this can get a little graphic at times with the descriptions and stuff. This deals with a lot of very sensitive topics. There's a lot of racial issues that get discussed in here, a lot of LGBTQ issues that get mentioned in here, especially since the main character's sons were both gay and married to each other. But there's a lot of representation in here, and it just deals with topics that are a little more sensitive, and just getting to see those topics laid out in this story and how it's portrayed was just really great. Reading this, you feel the emotions, you feel all of that, and honestly, this book was just so great. I'm stuck on my rating because I feel like a 4-star is too low, but I don't think this was a 5-star per se. So I think, and I feel like I'm getting very specific now with this rating, but I really did enjoy this. So I'm between a 4.25 and a 4.5. I highly recommend this book. I'm not one for like violence, but this book, honestly, just the violence did fit the narrative that we were being, fed. And I think it just worked out so well. I just truly, really enjoyed this. I'm so mad that it took me so long to pick this book up because I've heard so many great things about it and I kept putting it off, and I'm so glad that I finally picked it up, and this is gonna stick with me for a while. Like, I'm still reeling. I really thought I had the ending, the twist. I did not see this coming. This was honestly really great. So yeah, either a 4.25 or 4.5, I'm not sure yet, but that does bring us to the end of our challenge. I did have 5 pages after finishing that book to read, and I did just continue reading my book club book, which was The Favorites. I'm so happy because I was able to get through all of the books that we were reading in this. I was very worried that I was going to be left mid-book and the video was going to be over. And I gotta tell you, these last 2 days were hard. They were hard. Work was busy. After work was busy. So I really didn't have as much time to read as I did the previous days. So it was hard, and I did have a lot of catching up to do, especially because Wednesday was just so busy. I didn't have a chance to read at all. And I think I got maybe 30 pages in, and I had to read 180 something. I forgot. But anyway, just to recap all the books that we did end up reading. We did read 3 books in this video. We started off with We Used to Live Here by Marcus Clywer. I think I settled on a 4.25 for this book. Really great. This was like the first thriller horror book that I've read in a while that genuinely scared me in daylight time. The only thing I didn't really love was the lack of answers I feel like we got towards the end. I am praying for a sequel because I need more answers. But this was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I get the hype. I cannot recommend this one enough. This one was really good. Then we picked up Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This was just a treat. It very much reminded me of the book Ready or Not by Cara Stone. We are following a one-night stand pregnancy trope, but honestly, this was done so well. Beau is new favorite book boyfriend. Like, are you joking? The man that he is. This was amazing. This was so good. This made me feel so happy. I absolutely loved it, and I did not care that it was a pregnancy trope. So I think I gave this one a 4-star. So I actually gave this 4.25. I highly recommend if you're looking for a quick romance read that's going to just make you laugh out loud, giggle. The banter between Win and Beau was just top notch. I absolutely love them. The friendships we also get in this were really great. This was just a really great overall romance with the main characters and the side characters. Everything just fits so well. So could not recommend this one enough. And of course, we ended with Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Need I say more from what I already said? This book is honestly so great. The writing was amazing and could not recommend enough. 4.25 or 4.5, I really don't know. But these were all 4.25. So that's kind of funny. All of these books, highly recommend. They were amazing. If you haven't read them already, definitely read these. But that does bring us to the end of our video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts were down below, because I need to talk about these books more because they are going to stick with me for a while. All 3 of these books were so good. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you like, comment, subscribe. My links are down below if you want to follow me. I have Instagram and TikTok where I do post as well. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.